Imagine being a US president, and when you leave office, you have accomplished zero. You've done nothing right. Everything you touched or tried to do has failed. That's what Joe Biden is in store for when he leaves the White House. He will have no lasting legacy other than failures. Not like Richard Nixon when they landed on the moon, he was the president. Not like George Bush after 9/11 when he rallied people at the crash site. Not like any other president who ever did anything good. Joe Biden has done nothing but fail. From the botched Afghan withdrawal to giving away billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine and then going there to visit on President's Day, and they had them put on air raid sirens for a photo op, falling off his bike in Delaware, falling up the stairs on Air Force One, not once, but twice, and mumbling every time he opens his mouth and being beaten up by teleprompters every time he tries to read one. That will be Joe Biden's lasting legacy. But he is trying to do one thing. He's trying to succeed in having the most diverse cabinet in the history of the United States. And quite frankly, I think he's going to succeed at that. And here's what KJP has to tell us about how diverse Joe Biden's cabinet really is.
You've heard this from the president, you've heard this from me, you've heard this from many of us here. Diversity and representation is really important to this president. I want to take the opportunity to lay out how diverse the president's cabinet has been, how diverse the president's administration has been. The cabinet is majority people of color for the first time in history. The cabinet is majority female for the first time in history. A majority of White House senior staff identify as female. 40% of White House senior staff identify as part of the racially diverse communities. And a record 7 assistants to the president are openly LGBTQ+. So again, this is something that the president prides himself on.
So you see, I think I'm right on this one. Joe Biden will have something to look back on and say, look what I did. I had the most diverse cabinet in the history of the United States presidency. He has the majority of the people on his cabinet are of color. Majority of staff members are female. The majority of his staff ID as female, so that could go either way. They could be men identifying as women. 40% of his staff are from racially diverse communities, and 7 of his assistants are LGBTQ. And that's great. I got no problem with diversity. There's nothing wrong with it. You should have a different makeup of people in any business, on any job. That's how it should be. But Joe Biden is doing this for one reason, to get votes from these communities because he is such a failure. He doesn't care if they're not qualified, if they're not smart enough, if they've never had any job in public office before. He doesn't care. As long as their skin is the right color, as long as they speak the right languages, as long as they wear the right clothes of the person they identify as, you got a job with Joe Biden. You don't need college education. You don't need skills. You don't need anything. All you need is to be part of these diverse groups. Look at Sam Brinton, the LGBTQ bald guy. He was in charge of some hazardous waste shit with Joe Biden's cabinet. And where is he now? He got fired for stealing luggage from airports. And it's just recently come about. And it's not the first time he's done this. Oh no, he's done this many times. And he's actually been seen in photos wearing women's clothing that were one-of-a-kind items designed by a specific person who noticed this in photos, and then she came forward. She was the only one who had those clothing items. He stole her luggage and proceeded to wear her clothes. He was a diverse member of Joe Biden's cabinet. And look at him now again. I don't care that they say he graduated from MIT. He could be a genius. Apparently, they did no background check on this guy because, after all, he was part of the LGBTQ community. He's fine. He never did anything wrong because they're all the best. They're the best people we know. This president will have diversity as a legacy. So someday, if he gets his presidential library, quite frankly, I think it'll be full of secret emails from Hunter Biden's laptop or classified documents that he still has hidden somewhere, or notes that he wrote to China Communist Party leaders, or his boy Vlad in Ukraine. They'll have all the handwritten notes that he sent them, telling them, I got your back, buddy. We're giving you billions and billions and billions more. Just don't drop the dime on my kid so he stays out of prison. That's the legacy of the President of the United States. He has failed every step of the way. Everything he does, it's for show. Photo ops, speeches, he rambles on. Can't read the teleprompter because his brain's going in 40 different directions because he's stricken with dementia. We all know this, and dementia's sad. It's a sad disease. And it's even sadder that Dr. Jill, is making this sick man continue to destroy our country so she can walk around wearing tablecloths as dresses and act like she's important when no one gives two shits about Dr. Jill Biden, the English professor. It's all she wanted, and she would have did anything in her power to push that old fool to the presidency. And that's how he got there. The Democrats put him there. We all know this. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the truth. The Democrats knew he was a failure. That's why they backed him and pushed him through so Pelosi and her crew could do whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. And that's why he's the president. He will have no accomplishments at the end of his 4 years. Zero. Inflation's high. Gas, food, electric, heat, everything's out of control. People are struggling. He's doing nothing to help the Americans and everything to help foreign countries. He's been involved in crime his whole career. He's lied about his education and his background. He's lied that he knew nothing about his kids' business dealings when there's photographic proof all over the place. But they keep him in office so they can still commit their crimes while he's there. So the legacy of Joe Biden will go down in history as having the most diverse cabinet in the entire history of the presidency. Nothing good, all bad, all lies, all failures. And that, my friends, is our president, Joe Biden. And it's a disgrace. And that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. I'll see you soon. Have a great night.